As I stand here now, recalling these words, I realize how deeply life can surprise us and how a single decision can shape everything. I have a story, one that starts with hope and ends. Well, you'll see. Life is a journey, filled with unknowns and twists that we can never fully anticipate. Love, too, is a path that winds through our hearts, sometimes lifting us to the skies, sometimes bringing us to our knees. The first meeting. It was an ordinary evening. I didn't expect to meet anyone special that night. It was just another social gathering, one of those things where you show up, shake hands, make small talk, and count the minutes until it's acceptable to leave. But then she walked in. I noticed her the moment she entered the room. Her energy was different from everyone else's, alive, warm, and a little mysterious. She didn't just move through the space, she lit it up. Our eyes met, and something shifted inside me. My heartbeat quickened, and I could feel myself drawn to her like a magnet. Finally, I gathered enough courage to introduce myself. We talked, laughed, and found so much in common that it felt like I'd known her forever. We spoke about books, our dreams, and how we both felt like we had so much to achieve in life. I'd never felt so connected to anyone. And as the evening went on, I felt something growing, a warmth, a hope, maybe even love. I wondered, is this the beginning of something I've waited for all my life? I knew I had to see her again. We exchanged numbers, and as I walked home that night, I felt a strange sense of destiny. The blossoming romance. Days turned into weeks, and our connection grew. Every message from her felt like a gift. Every moment we spent together was filled with laughter, shared secrets, and dreams of the future. We'd talk until late at night, sometimes sitting by the lake, watching the stars reflect on the water. With her, everything felt brighter. She had this spark, this ambition to make a difference in the world. I admired her deeply, and in my heart, I knew I wanted to be by her side forever. But I sensed something, a hesitation in her eyes, a slight distance in her voice when we talked about the future. I tried to ignore it, to focus on the beautiful moments we shared. I didn't want to believe that anything could come between us. One night we were sitting by that same lake, her hand in mine, when she looked at me and said, "I have something to tell you." She paused, and my heart raced, but not in the way it used to. This time it was fear. I could feel that whatever she was about to say would change everything. I got a job offer. In another city. A big opportunity. I'll be moving soon, she said, her eyes downcast. Distance and determination. Her words hit me like a wave crashing against the shore, pulling the ground from under my feet. Moving? She was going to leave? I tried to stay calm, to support her dream, but inside I was a mess. "That's amazing," I said, forcing a smile. "You deserve it. You're going to do great things." As she spoke about the details, I listened, but all I could think about was losing her. We promised each other that distance wouldn't change anything, that we'd make it work. But as days turned to months, her messages grew shorter, our calls became less frequent, and slowly, I felt her slipping away. I tried everything to keep the connection strong, but life was pulling us in different directions. One evening, as I looked at a picture of her on my phone, I made a decision. I couldn't let her slip away without telling her how much she meant to me. I was going to propose. I had to know if there was still hope for us. The journey to her city. I planned everything, the flight, the ring, the moment I would get down on one knee. My hands were trembling as I boarded the plane, the small box with the ring heavy in my pocket. I thought about how I would tell her, how I would look into her eyes and ask her to be mine forever. As the plane descended, my heart pounded with a mix of excitement and fear. I imagined our reunion, the look on her face when she saw me, and I prayed she would say yes. I took a cab to her apartment, my hands sweating, my mind racing. I didn't know what to expect, but I held on to hope. I knocked on her door, waiting, and when she opened it, my heart skipped a beat. She looked surprised, a little shocked even, and for a moment, I worried I'd made a mistake. The proposal. I took her hand, feeling the familiar warmth of her skin. I couldn't stay away, I said softly. I came to tell you that I want to spend the rest of my life with you. My voice trembled as I held up the ring, the promise I'd held in my heart for so long. But instead of the joy I'd imagined, there was a look of sorrow in her eyes. She looked away, her hand slipping from mine. I can't, she whispered, her voice breaking. My world stopped. What do you mean? I asked, barely able to breathe. I'm so sorry, she said, looking down, unable to meet my eyes. I care about you. I always will. But I have dreams, things I need to do. I'm not ready for a serious relationship. I need to find myself first. Her words shattered me, each one like a blow I couldn't escape. I felt the weight of my dreams slipping away, leaving an emptiness I couldn't fill. I understand, I said, though I didn't, not really. I turned away, the ring heavy in my hand, knowing that the future I'd imagined was gone. The years passed. Time has a way of softening wounds, but some scars remain. I threw myself into my work, into building a life that felt meaningful. But there was always a part of me that wondered, that remembered her laughter, her dreams, her smile. I tried to move on, but she was there, like a shadow, a memory that wouldn't fade. Years passed. I achieved my goals, found success, and even happiness. But there was a small place in my heart that held the memory of her, a reminder of what might have been. An unexpected reunion. Then, one day, I saw her again. It was by chance, a meeting I hadn't planned. She looked different, still beautiful, but there was a sadness in her eyes, a weariness that hadn't been there before. She was going through a difficult time, a separation, and the dream she'd chased had left her feeling lost. We talked, catching up on all that had happened, sharing stories of the lives we'd built. I could see the pain in her eyes, the regrets that she tried to hide, and for a moment I felt a pang of sorrow. I'd achieved so much, and though I'd found happiness, I still wondered what life would have been like with her. Comfort and closure. As we talked, I found myself offering her comfort, the same way she once gave me hope. Life is strange, I said, and love doesn't always work out the way we want. But maybe that's okay. Maybe we were meant to be part of each other's stories, even if it wasn't forever. She smiled through her tears, and we shared a quiet moment, knowing that the past was something we couldn't change. We both had found our own paths, but in that moment I felt a sense of closure, a peace I hadn't known before. Moving on. As I walked away, I realized that love is not just about holding on to someone. Sometimes it's about letting go. Our time together was a chapter in my life that shaped me, gave me strength, and taught me the power of resilience. And though we had gone separate ways, I would always carry a part of her with me, a reminder of the love that was, and the strength it left behind.